let's kill that bass head. Alright, let's do this.
I'm on the air, we got this pockets flow. It's me and Tony on the mics, we gotta let you know of current events, little gaming, sprinkle in some entertainment. We stay humble, but our moms still think we're famous. Turn up the bass and baby, maybe let that magic flow. Our spoken word is all the things you really wanna know. Having a good time on the show, T-Bows and Matty G. Tune in and hit subscribe and join us on the FAP.
Welcome back to the Freaking Awesome Podcast. I am your host, Anthony Bowes, and sitting two screens over from me is my co-host, Matty G. Hey, buddy, how you doing today?
Hey, not too bad, man. How are you?
Doing well. It's another beautiful day here in Canada. There's still some grass on the ground, so I can't complain too much, right?
We've been getting some snow here in Kingston.
Yeah. Well, we still have a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad as it has been in the last few years. So there goes my whole theory that this COVID thing and everybody being locked in their houses would have changed the environment. We'd have a regular winter up here. And that's just gone. There's no such thing as 7 feet of snow like it used to be as a kid. So
No, I remember shoveling my roof off.
yeah. Yep. I remember a couple of days of having to dig the house out. So nowadays it's no problem. So let's take a moment here and welcome our special guest today, actor Wil Wilson. How are you doing today, Will?
I'm doing great, gentlemen. How are you today?
We are doing wonderful. We can't wait to get things underway and start our show and see what you think. Now, I did forget to mention to you, we are labeled as explicit, so don't worry about your P's and Q's. Just be yourself.
Well, that's good. I feel that I'm in your company.
Yeah, it's good. I should have said if you wanted, we'll also condone drinking on air, so that's also cool too.
You want to pass the Jameson? I'm all for it.
We got to do an episode where we have, we do that the whole like sliding drink thing. You know what I'm saying? Where
that
we should do that sometime.
But then we're gonna have to mail out the same bottle of Jameson to everybody. So there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't hear anyone complaining.
It's true. It's true. Right on, Matty G. What kind of news you got for us today?
All right, a couple articles today. So first one, South Carolina couple arrested for Ferris wheel hijinks. Do you hear about this yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's fairly new.
Okay.
A South Carolina couple found some amusement at a park. The pair was arrested, according to Myrtle Beach Online, for allegedly filming themselves having sex on top of a Ferris wheel in Myrtle Beach. So an arrest warrant stated Eric and Lori Harmon performed an unspecified sexual act while riding the Sky Wheel, an oceanfront Ferris wheel at entertainment venue Sky Wheel. Police said that the alleged extracurricular activity took place earlier this month inside a glass gondola that was visible to the public. They added the video was later released to a porn site. The pair, both 36, were charged with indecent exposure and preparation of prohibited obscene material. Skywheel officials say they weren't aware of any incident.
All right. So I've got a moment here. I know, wink. They were probably the ones filming and releasing to the porn site. So if they get royalties, I'm sure that would totally pay off their indecent bill, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So
I'm really hoping there'll be a follow-up to that.
Yes. Yes.
There's got to be a follow-up to this. I mean, they were taking it while they were doing work. I mean,
yes. Now,
what's next? Bumper cars? Merry-go-rounds?
Well, let me tell you, definitely be merry. I got to tell you that how many of our listeners out there are going to be looking this up, right? They're going to be hitting porn sites to check this out. So,
yeah,
whichever porn site this is, you're welcome. You can send the kickback check to Karen.
A glass gondola though, like that is the ultimate thing.
Yeah, right.
So, I don't know if I should applaud their moxie or be disappointed in their stupidity. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a mixed bag for me.
You know, this is one of those things where people are like, please let them be hot. Please let them be hot.
Yeah.
Right. You know,
We don't need no cottage cheese sex.
yeah, exactly. Oh my God. So my article today, the title of this one is Thief Berated Mom for Leaving Child in Her Car. What happened here? This was in Beaverton, Oregon. A car thief who found a toddler in the back seat of the stolen vehicle drives back to the grocery store where the mother had left the child, went in and berated her after stealing the car and noticing the child was in it. The afterwards, the thief had handed the child and then proceeded to steal the car again. The funny thing out of this is the police or the spokespeople for the police said they haven't done anything wrong. Now I'm not sure about laws down there, but up here in Canada, if you walk away with your child in the car, let me tell you, there's some repercussions for that.
Well, it's the same here.
Is it? Okay. So I'm not sure what it's like there, but yeah, that I just shook my head and I'm just thinking, wait a minute. I don't know what's worse in this act. The person stealing the car, the child leaving, the mother leaving the child in the car, or the police saying, nah, it's all good.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if the theft of the car wasn't just an abject lesson to the parent.
You're right.
You know? And they're just saying, all right, I'm going to show you, and then bring the kid back. And
yeah.
But even that's just, I don't know if I would advise that. I definitely would not advise that with my child or my fiance. The outcome would not be good for the driver.
Yeah, definitely.
Or I mean, at least crack a window.
Right. Just get out and roll all the windows down and walk away.
Now, I don't know. Laws sure have changed. When I was a kid, heck, we would ride in the back window of the truck of the car.
Yeah.
Or ride in the back of the truck. You know, we'd go freaking rabbit hunt in the middle of the desert or dove hunt in the middle of the desert. And be 11 years old and shooting doves from the back of a pickup truck.
Yep. Yeah, Matt and I often reminisce sleeping in the back of the window of a car, right? And what woke you up was your dad slamming on the brakes so that you hit the back of the seat. And we
thought it was fun.
Yeah.
You know? Get tossed out the back window into the back of the seat.
Yeah. So go figure. Now, the funny thing out of all this is they did mention that they found the car several hours later in Portland. But the criminal they're still looking for. So you know what? I'd be looking for him to I don't know, shake his hand, being like, you know what, you taught her a great lesson.
Yeah, apparently the cops want to give him a Medal of Honor or something.
Yeah, exactly. So go figure.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh, goodness. All right, what else you got, Maddie?
So I saw this article, and we've talked about this before on the show, but I figured that this is pretty funny lead in. So
okay.
Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina scented candle reportedly ignites inferno.
Oh,
have you
no.
have you heard about this yet?
This is a long follow-up because we did that article like last year. Yeah. Early last year. Yeah.
Well, a British woman's living room now has a unique smell after she says Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina scented candle caused a huge fire. North London resident Jodie Thompson had won the Goop candle through an online quiz. Looking to see what it was all about, Thompson lit the candle, resulting in a 2-foot flame leaping out of the glass jar. Thompson told the UK Sun that the candle exploded and it started emitting huge flames with bits flying everywhere. The flame ended up causing what Thompson described as an inferno in her living room. She and her partner.
Sorry, go ahead. That thing they call fire pussy? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, fire crotch. That was their spin-off line, Fire Crotch. Oh God, that's awesome. She and her partner David Snow got the fire under control and threw the candle out the front door. We're lucky that it didn't burn the place down. It was scary at the time, but it's pretty funny looking back to say that Gwyneth's vagina candle exploded in my living room.
The abridged version, Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina exploded in my living room.
Yeah,
exactly. So I can only imagine at that point when we were already curious of what the smell like. It's now like this. It's like the smell of burning
Yep.
vagina. Like, what's the smell of burning vagina?
Burning sulfur from hell.
Oh, I wish I could make this stuff up.
Right? Let me tell you, if she ever takes a role as the devil, there is going to be great blowback on this one.
Oh man. Yep. So
Oh.
that happened.
Oh boy. All right.
What do you got?
So this one was really, really weird when I saw it. The title is Con Artist Conjures Up Fake Genie to Dupe the Buyer Out of £72,000. So this one, let me get into this one because you gotta form your own definite. What you think the final outcome of this would be. So it was alleged that the two men have been arrested. Sorry, it has been the two men have been arrested for the doctor. So after a doctor was called out £72,000, for basically trying to purchase Aladdin's lamp. It was alleged that they conjured up a fake genie to trick the victim out of the money. Basically, one man pretended to be to be an occultist to make a jinn appear, and the supernatural figure appeared in the lamp. Was basically reported to the local media. What happened was that two people had come up with this scheme to con a doctor out of £72,000. And he at one point had said, like, can I touch it? And they're like, no, because if you do, the genie will get angry and you never know what's going to happen. So they were originally selling it for $93,000, and they had worked it down to £72,000. So I don't know.
This guy's a doctor.
So this guy has patients that trust him with their care, and he's so gullible. He's so gullible that he allowed them to talk him down to 72,000 as opposed to 93,000 pounds.
Right?
Oh, I have so much confidence in the UK.
He's clear. What is he, a doctor of philosophy? Please tell me it's probably philosophy, isn't it?
I'm hoping it's not a physical doctor. They didn't actually state that. I'm sure that
and if it's a doctor of academia, oh my God.
I can only imagine if it was a physician, the amount of patients who would be just like, where do you go with that? Like, I mean, I would instantly be like, I got to find a new doctor. Like, I can't have someone give me a potential verdict on my health if they're buying what they thought was Aladdin's lamp.
What if he's a psychiatrist, man? What if this dude writes scripts?
Right?
Oh my God.
Maybe he's using too many scripts himself if he thought that was the real thing.
Maybe he's taking too many of his own scripts.
Yeah.
A great doctor, but a hell of a bargainer.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's like a 30%. Yeah, that's like a 30% cut that
Right.
he got them down to. So great business, man.
And that's some pretty good haggling for a ripoff. if you're gonna discuss and barter and work down the price for your gullibility, by God, that's the way to do it, apparently.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That is really funny. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up, there was a very quick article I'm going to mention. I know we only normally do a couple. This one was really funny, actually. And it wasn't kind of like the super ha-ha funny, but the article on the title was "A House for Sale in Vermont Includes 7 Jail Cells." Now, before I was thinking this is either really creepy or really extreme. But the funniest part of the whole article was so it turned out that it was actually an old county jail cell for like a long way back. But when it actually goes and lists the house, it says the home is listed for $149,000, includes 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and an updated kitchen with stainless steel appliances. But the funny thing is, if you look at the cells in the picture, they all had toilets. So that's not true. There's a lot of bathrooms in that house. It wasn't. There was something like 9 bathrooms, and technically there was more like 9 bedrooms.
Tony, everything's a bathroom if you're brave enough.
Yeah, right? Now, like most jail cells, let me tell you, this thing has like disease written all over it. It is one scary looking jail cell. And I don't know, like I can only imagine the person who would want to purchase that, and then I would make sure that the police are making regular visits to their house to make sure they're not keeping people down there.
Yeah, I'd like to do a welfare check on address such and such.
Right? Oh, it is definitely a kidnapper's paradise. But
That's crazy.
all right. So, news articles aside, Will, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for taking some time out of your day with us, and I hope hopefully we've got a few chuckles at least starting your day off.
Oh, it's always good to laugh. I love the witty repartee that leads to a few laughs. So yeah, I'm having a good time.
Excellent. So we were talking a little bit earlier today, and you had mentioned that, of course, you've been actually quite busy, and that your IMDb profile hasn't been updated. Do you want to talk about to start off with a couple projects that you're working on? I know a lot of the times there's some NDAs and you can't talk too much, but you've got some great characters, and I love a lot of the stills from your shots. I mean, here you are like a genuine biker. You've got the bike, you got the gear, you look fantastic, but then you've also got some other pictures where, I mean, you look like you've got like a Viking roll, almost like you've got this perfect look for it. So what have you got in the works right now?
Man, I'll tell you, right now, Out of Exile is in post-production, and they're putting the fine-tuning on, actually getting the trailers thrown together now. I shouldn't say thrown together. They're taking their time. They're very meticulous. Kyle Quica Harris is the writer and director and one of the producers on that project. Adam Hampton is another one of the, he's the lead hero, anti-hero, gray hat wearing guy. And we also have the incomparable Peter Green, Ryan Merriman, and I'm forgetting so many people because, by God, I'm just tired right now. And I've done a lot. I've slept since then, and we've done a lot of things since then. I did a short film based around the poem Invictus, about man's indomitable spirit, and how doesn't matter what adversity we face, as long as we just stay undefeatable, we'll always be undefeatable. And it's really not that hard of a task, really. I mean, you stop and think about the challenges we face in life, and it doesn't matter what we faced that brought us to our knees in the past. If we're still looking back on it, standing up today, then we survived that. And we've got something to carry forward with us. So it's a very powerful short film. And then obviously, there's another one I want to throw out there. It's been a while. We shot this last year. It's a short film called Bandits, and you can find it on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's a Western comedy, and it was a thrown together cast of great talent, great writing, and shot in the vein of Blazing Saddles. It's just fun. It was just a fun, haphazard little 2-3 minute short film that is getting shopped around now to see if we can get somebody to back the script and get a full production. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and all the actors and the people involved, or crew especially, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. And just shot a video for Outlining Color, modern Western.
Yep.
And it's a really good shoot. Shot that with Michael Skaggs, songwriter, lead singer of Outlining Color, and the incomparable Oklahoma talent Connie Franklin. It was a real fun shoot, and getting ready to shoot Second Chances. It's a Rick Walker film starring Allison Cristofaro, and I have the opportunity to play Allison's character Jimmy, or I get to play her father.
Okay.
And he happens to be kind of a hippie biker dude who happens to also be so charming that he's a really successful real estate mogul in his area.
Right.
And so he's able to impart some wisdom to his wonderfully precocious, bright and witty and actively adventurous daughter, Jimmy. She's a really great character. Allison brings this character to life in such a great way. And, it's a really good film. It's quite a sharp contrast from Out of Exile, where I play this character, Pike Orloff, who's a real heavy hitter, a real mean, just a real bad hombre.
Okay.
With the Irish mob. I mean, he's number 2 guy in this particular clan, and he makes no bones about it. He's going to make sure he keeps his position, and he doesn't care who he's got to squash or grind into the meat grinder to keep his status. And to go from that to playing a loving father that imparts great wisdom, great hippie wisdom to his kid. I mean, it's a good deal. Cassie Gann, I worked with Cassie Gann. She's one of the producers for Second Chances. I worked with Cassie Gann on Adult Exile. And she was a production coordinator and one of the production assistants. And she wore many hats. I can't label just one job for her. She's an amazing talent in her own right, just being a producer. And she was working with Rick Walker on the script and getting the project developed, and they hadn't made the full cast yet, fleshed out the full cast yet. She brought me up and they discussed me, and then they shot me the script and asked me if I'd be interested. And I read the script and I'm like, wow, that's nice. It's a good pace. It's witty. Yeah. It's a heartwarming little coming of age rom-com for 20-somethings. And it's a good little flick.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, in the hippie motorcycle, Dad, do you have to use your own bike, or they bringing another bike in?
We haven't discussed that yet. We're actually having a Zoom meeting on the 25th, and we're discussing. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 bikes. Both of them are in the shop right now, getting worked on. The problem that I have is this COVID thing.
Yep.
It has really hampered me getting parts for my motorcycles. And, all these different houses that supply parts, they're following the protocol, which is ludicrous and totally bottlenecks business. Yeah. And I can't imagine being a business owner in that level of distribution, allowing anybody to marginalize my business over something that has a 99.8% recovery rate. Yeah. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially with just even like the mail system. It's up here. If it comes from outside of Canada, they hold it in a warehouse generally for like
probably
month.
A couple of weeks, right?
No, like a month. Yeah. And then you still have to wait because all the workers are tight, so because they can't put more than one in an area, then that one person is sorting through all the packages and slowly getting them out on the truck. So, you got a lot of post offices that normally have 5 to 7 staff, and they can only do 1 because of how small the areas are. And that's why the mail has grinded to a halt.
Oh, it's brutal.
It's a real, I don't understand why more people haven't taken their disgruntled, and, rightfully so, disgruntled attitudes to these guys and say, listen, it doesn't make any sense. The numbers don't add up. Yeah. And you restricting how many of y'all small businesses have gone under as a result of this?
Yeah.
And what's the percentage? You know what the percentage is?
No,
I don't, but higher than it should be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And America is facing its own challenges at the moment, but rest assured, Patriots are going to win out in the end. It'll be all right. And then as a result, Canada's going to reap the benefits as well. So it's not a one-sided deal. It's the America First anthology anthem is more about let's get our business taken care of first, then we'll start doing our statesman platform around the globe, pull people in. I think we're trying to get to the point here where statesmanship is preferred over politics or diplomacy. True statesmen are an honor to who they represent, and they honor themselves in their speech and conduct. And sad to say, we haven't had that for a very long time
here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, things are changing. There's always going to be progress, hopefully, right?
Yes.
Well, and it's that's the best part about hindsight is you learn, right? It's just like, I have to admit, sometimes we've had heated discussions at our dinner tables about taking down statues and of things like that. And I said, well, if we erase pieces of history, how the hell are we supposed to learn from those pieces of history?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, if it didn't happen, then we're bound at some point to do it again.
Well, think
So,
about, are you guys looking at over at Europe at all? See what Germany is going through? Merkel stepping down, and the people are actually, there are people that if you're not following the protocol, then you're put in internment camps again. I mean, Germany is experiencing this again.
Wow.
Okay, so that should be cause for concern for all of us. I mean, if they cannot learn from their history, and the example set for them was they erased their history, got people to turn a blind eye to it because they were embarrassed of it, but they weren't able to look at the stark contrast from now to today and use that as a template for today. They haven't learned, and they're going to suffer some more as a result. And it makes me sad for them. It makes me sad for the entire country.
yeah, I've always believed that good or bad, it's good to at least take the lesson from it and move on.
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to ask you, I think I also noticed you've got a film that's in production, or maybe it's pre-production. It's a wrestling film.
Mike Tiffany, he and his daughters came up with his story. Is we talked. He reached out to me as he was putting this project together. He's been working on it for 9 years with his daughter.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And so we had a long discussion because I was like, all right, you're hitting me up. You want me to be involved. What do you have in mind for me? And I want to hear what your pitch is so that I'm not going to put my name to something that's not going to be fun for everybody, because it looks like a lot of fun. And the more we talked, the more I got sucked in because there really is no limit to the comedy and the fun that they can have with this thing. And he's got me in mind. He's got a character in mind for me. His name is Mr. Big. Yep. And I have no idea what his backstory is. I mean, we're looking at probably next year starting table reads and discussions about episodic series and whatnot. But I'm really excited. He's sharp. He's getting funding together now. He's almost got the funding wrapped. And I think he and his two daughters have just been after it since his divorce so many years ago. And one of the little things that he told me, I don't know if I should say this, Mike, forgive me if admonish me later. I'd rather beg forgiveness than just leave this little tidbit out. But he said he got divorced, and his daughters and he were having a hard time getting away from that toxicity. And so what they did is they incorporated his ex-wife into one of the characters. It's nice. It's a pretty fun story.
That's cool. Really funny. So I look forward to hearing more about that. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of information on it, and I'm glad you could part a little bit to it. But it from what I've seen, it looks kind of good, and hopefully at some point we can have you back to discuss that. Because I think that there's always some great humor. I always love when they pull it from different areas and in different genres. So when you're looking at something that would generally be like, oh, here's just a rough and tough movie, but to take a wrestling style movie, make a comedy out of it, it's just always kind of a nice twist on things.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be a comedy, but there's going to be comedic humor in it, and I don't know. There's so much he can do with it. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
And I just got excited. It was fun talking to him about it. It was great to hear his vision for it, and a lot of real world wrestlers want to get involved. So let's see what happens next.
Yeah. That's
we wait with bated breath.
What was that old wrestling movie comedy, Tony? Was it Ready to Rumble or
with was it one of the Wilsons? Was it Luke Wilson or something, or David Arquette? No, it was David Arquette.
Yeah, it was David Arquette. Yeah. I haven't seen a good spin on a wrestling movie in a while. Like the one that The Rock did with the European girl there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really good. I love that movie.
That's based on a true story, apparently.
Yeah. So it was good, but I haven't seen a good fun wrestling spin-off of a movie in a long time. So I'm actually really excited for that one. I hope it comes to fruition soon.
That's very fun. All right, should we jump into the next part of our show? We've got 20 quick questions with Matty G. Now it's I say quick questions. They're slightly slower than average questions because sometimes these go off on some memories. That's cool.
Yeah, we've dubbed them slightly slower than average rapid fire questions.
Yeah. Excellent. So you can, if you're not 100% sure, you can just pass, or if you've got something, give us what you got.
Hey, I'm down for the challenge, man. Let's rock this.
All right.
Alrighty. Question number 1. What made-up word would you register into the English language?
Oh, oh. Dickweed.
Nice.
I love that. I heard that.
Yeah, me too, actually.
We had a senior drill. We had a senior drill when I was in basic training that used to use that term all the time. It always cracked me up. First time I ever heard it,
That's
and
nice.
it stuck with me for 30 plus years. So
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. What's this? What's
Great
what's
match.
the? Oh, go ahead.
One quick side note: it's really funny because it reminds me of when I saw the movie Teen Wolf way back when, and his friend Lewis wore a shirt that said, "What are you looking at, Dick Nose?" And for some reason, that has always stuck with me for like the last, I don't know how long old that movie is, like 30 years, and that's still in my head.
That's a good movie too.
Yeah, yeah.
What is the scariest dream that you can remember?
oh man, that's a good one. And you know what? The thing is I have a terrible memory. I don't know if it's because I block stuff out or what, because of my childhood or whatever. But my first distinct memory, dream as a child, I was still in the crib and I was still wearing diapers. And I remember dreaming that I was running through a castle being chased by an undead of some sort, some undead like ghoulish fiend. And I had rounded the corner and the torches were burning, and I down at the end of the hallway I saw something shiny. I ran to the wall and there's a big old freaking battle axe hanging on the wall, and I grabbed it, turned around, and about the time I turned around, it had caught up to me, and I ended up waking up. And I woke up sitting up in my crib, grabbing the rails and looking at my dad and thinking, what the hell? I didn't know like hell as a baby, but I was like, what the heck just happened here? So that's my first memory, and I don't know if that's real or imagined or what, but that was my first dream that I remember.
I'm amazed as a child that you had the forethought of what a battle axe was. You know, like,
Well, I pieced that together later in life, you know.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
Hey, you watched a lot of He-Man. Give him a break.
I was gonna say, what your pops have you watching?
No, that's awesome.
I don't think stuff like that was on TV when I was a kid.
No,
you know?
no.
It was like Looney Tunes and freaking the Jetsons and
Yep.
you know
Elmer Fudd used to wield
Monty
that.
Python and Goody Goody Yum Yum and
Maybe you were a Viking in another life or something.
Yeah, exactly.
you know I do get that said to me a lot. I mean, everywhere I go, I'm not kidding you guys. Everywhere I go, I get compliments on the beard and the look, and but I've looked like this for a while. And women will be standing there with their husbands, and my girl standing right there hitting on me because I look like such a Viking. You should be a Viking, king or whatever. I'm like, well, it's great. Hey, talk these producers over here. See if
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
Big armor you have, like that is a fantastic beard. I gotta tell you, I've got beard envy right now.
Oh, it looks like crap now, guys. I'm not kidding. That's why I keep touching it, because I haven't had a chance to oil it today since this morning. And I usually oil it several times a day, and you can't get a good angle on it. And my color is off, and hell, I'm thinking about being camera ready, and I'm not even close.
It's still a good beard though.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
beard. I like it.
If you could choose a superpower, which would it be?
Oh, golly. If I could choose a superpower, what would it be? I've always thought the power of flight was a little selfish. Oh, golly. I don't think of my. I guess. The power of persuasion, I guess.
Okay.
I would love to be able to persuade people to understand that they're better than what they see themselves as.
True. Plus, you could also get any part you wanted.
Yeah, I don't want to manipulate people in a bad way. I want to manipulate them for their own betterment.
Oh,
not, not in my, not through my
I'm
fault,
sure
but
you do
their
that for the first maybe year.
I mean, granted, I'd have to probably be older and wiser before I would attain this power. Because as a young man, I'd probably abuse the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, I know our questions are a little out there sometimes, but that's how we get the best answers out of people. So,
yeah.
You've actually already answered the next one, which was what's your earliest childhood memory? So it's kind of you got a bit of a 2-4 there.
Yeah.
Oh, another one I have about the same time is sitting on the front in the living room on my little tuchus, and my dad sitting in the chair behind me with a 22 pistol, 10 round 22 long rifle, double action pistol, shooting mice as they ran across our living room floor.
That's awesome.
And I'm just sitting there watching my dad do target practice. It was pretty. That's how I grew up.
Oh, that's great. That's great. What activity makes you the happiest?
Sex.
Nice.
That is a
Good
genuine answer. I love that. Not one person has given us that yet.
Listen, I'm going to be. Here's one thing you guys are going to get here is honesty. Okay,
Yep.
and I make no apologies for being who I am because I'm a good person.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, guys. At the end of the day, what do you want?
Yeah.
That's good.
That's right.
I like
Good.
it.
I love that answer. In fact, it'd probably be mine.
With someone that you care about and cares about you, and there's nothing better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's amazing.
What foreign language would you most like to learn?
All of them. I do have a goal in my life. I want to be well versed in 12 other languages before I die. I have yet to even begin that journey, but I also plan on living for a long time. But at some point, I'm able to pull back and focus. I really do. I want to learn. I want to be a Thomas Jefferson of my age. I want to be a Renaissance man.
What's the first one you want to learn?
I think as a matter of direct course and need, probably Spanish. And then my heritage is what my dad tells me is, Apache, and my mom's side is on my dad's side Apache and English, and on my mom's side is German, Irish, and Scots, and Norwegian. So I would like to learn all those. I'd like to learn all the Europeans, and it'd be nice if I could learn Sumerian, study some Sanskrit or some Latin.
Yeah, that's cool.
My brother knows, I think, a little bit of Sanskrit there. And I used to, because he did some archaeology, and I used to tease him all the time, be like, nobody has any want to deal with like a 10,000-year-old dead language. But,
the thing with that, what your brother is probably tried to impart to you, Anthony, was that through that medium, that language, you could learn so much of the culture back then. What was their society like? What was the government like? What was the economy like? What were the people like? And which brings us to the acting part of Will. I mean, believe me, I've been there, done that. I've been on the dark side of the fence, and I've been on the light side of the fence, and I've straddled the fence. And I'm telling you, having that knowledge at your fingertips just because you've mastered a language, or at least grasped a language, that's an amazing thing, especially in today's day and age when nobody's really interested. We're too distracted. We got YouTube, and Parler, and Twitter, and Facebook, and it's like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel.
Yeah.
And we just can't focus on. We're really not given an opportunity to focus on the things that enrich our souls right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I like taking the time with doing podcasts with great talent such as y'all, is because what we're doing is we're connecting on a real level. And I'm taking time out of my day to focus on the humanity side of things. And I think that the more of us that do that, the more connections we have, we're going to all lead a richer life.
Yeah.
And, this political correctness will find its rightful place way back there where it doesn't help anybody.
Yep, that's true. With everything that's going on, that's the one time, for both Matt and I, we're very techie people. And as I get older, I kind of look at things and think, oh my God, technology is actually killing society slowly but surely because we're becoming so disconnected. But then when you get to something like what's going on now with COVID and everything being locked up, more you get thankful that you can still reach out and have honest conversations with people. So, it's sometimes a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely.
It's technology in the wrong areas, I think, because technology is pretty amazing, right? But like, invent teleportation so I can go to my buddy's house quicker.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what I mean? Things like that actually bring
Who's
us
to say it's not
together.
available now? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. There's so much stuff. I mean, I'm they used to label us conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just a truth seeker. Okay. I want to find the truth. I want to get to the bottom. What's the truth? You got all these tributaries. It's got to collect somewhere. There's got to be a lake of knowledge somewhere.
Yeah.
So
we were just talking about this, how I guess there's a documentary out on Netflix about somebody, the whistleblower on Area 51. And now I'm like super intrigued to watch it because I just want to know, what that person discovered or what they had to say. So I'm the same way. Like I hear about something, I'm like, there could be this. I have to know.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Well, I was approached by someone that was wanting to put together themed program for the History Channel. And the themed program followed the mysteries of the Grand Canyon. And I don't know if you guys realize this, even in your casual reading, even in my casual reading, I picked it up. There are a lot of very interesting things in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Formed, shaped, painted, and built caves, mummies dressed in Egyptian garb, hieroglyphs, petroglyphs, Sanskrit, Viking runes. There's so many things scattered throughout the Grand Canyon, and they're all roped off or cordoned off or no entry areas. So we discussed that, me being a co-host on that, and auditioning for that. I did that. I didn't know what they were going to call it or whatnot. And but I think I scared them off because I said, man, I like to use that as a springboard to go into what you were just discussing, teleportation and time travel and stargates and, all the stuff that, why does somebody bring that stuff up and there's not really any concrete stuff on it? I like to find some validation to any of it.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
thought it was very interesting in the Grand Canyon. They've also said on a molecular level there is different forms of life that haven't even been explored yet, or something that they've found on on a very minuscule area.
Right.
Like spring rocks
yeah.
This isn't normal.
Yeah, people. If we as a species, humanity, understood frequencies and their impact on our environment and ourselves, I think we have a better understanding of the life that we're immersed with.
Yeah,
there's so many things out there. The more I've studied, the more questions I have. And that to me is invigorating and challenging at the same time.
Yeah.
I was thinking too, is like humans only have 5 senses that can only do so much. There's got to be something beyond what we're not able to pick up on.
Well, that's where we got to work ourselves to develop our own intuition.
Yeah.
There are exercises I'm researching now to develop my intuition. I've always had a very powerful intuition, but now I'm trying to hone it a little bit. It helps me in my everyday walk too. So
very good. Love it.
Very cool. Okay. What if you could relive a decade? Which would you choose?
70s.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I had a blast, man. I was just a kid. I was always. We moved to. I was in a new school every year, so life was a big adventure for me. It got rough and tumble there, here and there. Every time I showed up in a new place, I was having to have at least a dozen fights before school started, just little get to know you things, new area, new people. And so we'd have some dust ups, get some knuckle dusters going. And by the time school rolled around, I had at least a couple, 3 friends. We'd have some cuts, scrapes, and bruises and some missing teeth, but by God, we were buds.
Yeah. Nice.
That's cool.
Nice. What was the first movie that made you cry?
Oh my gosh. Probably Old Yeller.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's popular. Yeah.
I
that
think
is a popular one.
think I was in kindergarten when I saw that for the first time, or first grade, one of the two.
Yeah,
And I just couldn't understand why that beautiful, strong dog had to die.
Mhm.
yeah.
And my dad just looked at me and shook his head and said, "Damn, boy."
He's like,
Hey,
back in there, tear.
yeah, we get Old Yeller and Bambi a lot. Those
Yeah.
two seem to be the leaders.
Yeah.
So my next question. So do
But
you
after that, it's
even,
probably King Kong.
Yeah.
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 uh,
Just wanted to-
oh, do you believe in aliens? That's a good question.
I know that there's technology out there that's surpassed ours by at least 100 years. I know the military, being somebody that was active and was in touch with some high-speed groups back in the day, I know the technology available to the boys on the ground and the technology that's actually behind the scenes in black ops and compartmentalized groups is much further ahead than the operating troops nowadays. So, and even the stuff that I did and worked with when I was in it when I got out, it was, you had to pay money, but it was nice stuff. So yeah, there's got to be some form. And is it aliens? I don't know. Is it angels? I don't know. Is it demons? I don't know. But I sure as hell would like some validation on any one of those three.
Yeah.
You look at that movie with Mia Jovovich, The Fourth Kind, and have you guys seen that, The Fourth Kind?
I don't think
I
I've
have,
seen
yeah.
It's a movie about UFOs and aliens and abductions and psychiatrist. Her and her husband, they were both psychiatrists that lived in the Nome, Alaska area. She got her pilot's license, and he had his pilot's license. They would fly their bush airplane to different towns to counsel patients, and they found that there were so many abduction stories coming out of this small community, and so many missing people and deaths. And there's a video of a unidentified flying object over this woman's house, and the sheriff's deputy recording it and freaking out. Real life.
Wow.
I mean, it's real life events tied into this visual documentary film about this subject. And this psychiatrist lost her child to this UFO, her daughter, and she ended up losing her mind. She's absolutely devastated.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, with that kind of evidence out there, and you look at the structures on Mars and the structures on the moon, and you read Mr. Hoag's book on the structures on the moon, the dark side of the moon, there's more to this story than what we're being told. And quite frankly, me being a red-blooded A-type personality that I am, I sure would like to throttle somebody for some answers.
Yeah. It'd be cool, like I do think multiple times that you are definitely correct that there's a lot there that we're not being told, and I'm sure it's just because someone out there has deemed society unable to fathom the concept, and it would put us into a state of crisis, and that's why it doesn't come out. But
Let me ask you this, based off of that statement right there, if it was just on a level of you and I versus this, overarching theme that you just described, how would you feel if I approached you and says, well, you asked me a question, and I said, oh, you can't handle it. Would you take that very well on a, one-to-one level?
No.
Why are we so
be
willing
more
to
curious.
accept that explanation because it's a group saying it now?
Yeah.
I mean, why are we so, if it were me and I have a discussion with you and you refuse to answer the question because your handling of it is going to be better than mine, not only are you passing judgment on me, but you're condescending to me. So, I'm a man.
Yeah.
And I have logic and reason that I get to exercise my own way.
Yeah.
And damn you for trying to manipulate my thinking and tell me I'm not worthy of that thought process.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Absolutely.
For sure.
All right. How would you spend $100 million right now?
I'd figure out some way. First thing, I pay my bills first, and then I would figure out some way to help my community.
Excellent.
Do something to. So many people in this world that don't understand their value and their worth. and it shows itself in addictions and homelessness and joblessness, broken families.
Yeah.
And most of it is, just the world's been stacked against them because we had these really powerful people wanting to keep us in a certain position so that we couldn't see what was going on around us and see our own downward spiral. Not so much by our own volition, but we're kind of being forced there because our choices are limited. So, yeah, that's about all. That's about all I have on that.
Yeah, no, that's great. Great use of it.
What's your biggest pet peeve? What gets on your nerves?
Rudeness. If you can't be considerate of others, if it's overt, I'll overtly call you out. If it's, just a slight character issue, I'll just politely call you out. But rudeness, if I'm going to have to deal with somebody, I want to try and deal with you on a private one-on-one level, but there's no reason to be rude and unkind to somebody just because you're having a bad day or whatever, especially if someone's offering you a smile or a handshake. So,
you ever watch that show? Basically, they're purposely rude to people, and they see how other people react to that. I love that show because it really does show like how good humans generally are.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've had a chance. I forget what it's called, but basically, it's a behind the scenes kind of show. They'll hire somebody to be blatantly rude. It's another actor, and then they see what the people in a restaurant will do.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those.
They'll stick up for.
I've had several of those happen to me in real life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Had a young lady walk in. She had a baby bump. Happened to be a person of a certain background, I guess. And there was a whole 3 lines of people standing there, 3 deep, each line. And she just walks in and walks in front of everybody and walks up there like she's going to do her thing. And everybody was looking at her. I'm like, what the? And the guy was going to wait on her. And I said, hey, son, blow up. Slow your roll.
Yeah.
Young lady, you need to go ahead and get back there and wait for everybody else.
Yeah.
And you need to be a man and tell her to get back in the line.
Yeah.
And the 2 girls in front of me were like, sir, did we? I'm like, no, ladies, I'm doing this for you. I'm not doing this for you. And so everybody thanked me. She wasn't very thankful, but I went outside to talk to her old man and see if he had anything to say about it. He didn't have anything to say about it.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Hey, it's a good lesson. It's a good
It is.
lesson that maybe her old man should have taught her in the first place. So,
Yeah.
but what was the last thing that you did just for yourself?
Started acting.
Yeah.
Going to acting classes.
Yeah.
And that's the very last thing. But the last thing that has meaning to me is, I guess, besides my relationships, of course, but starting the acting process. I'd put it off for so many years, raising my kids, getting my career established. But the more I saw the landscape and what was coming out of Hollywood, the more I disliked the messages being sent. Not even, they weren't even subtle about it anymore. They were just overtly shoving it down our throats. And I'm not. There's too much manipulation. I don't want to manipulate. I want to be able to tell a story that resonates. I'm not going to throw a bunch of stuff in there, or a bunch of CIA talking points, or freaking marking posts and say, "Hey, look over here. This is the red herring in the room. This is our new social discussion matter right now." It went from political correctness to fascism and democracy versus republicanism. I'm sick of it, man. We need to be. Entertainment is meant to connect people and bring richness to our lives and offer an aspect of creativity that gets us outside of ourselves and challenges our thinking.
Yeah.
Challenges our spirits and our souls, our indomitable spirit. I mean, the human spirit is quite indomitable, but there's some people that are so fucking overwhelmed with just being inundated with so much crap they can't handle it. They short circuit, and unfortunately, we lose them. In America, we've got this thing: 22 a day. 22 veterans die a day through suicide. There's no freaking reason for it.
Yeah.
All they need is, somebody to connect to and talk to and just have a human connection.
Yeah.
And entertainment needs to get back to that, offering a human connection or a conduit to such.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find that there's so many, just like, especially on the television level, it's so flooded with reality shows nowadays, and it's so ridiculous that, to me, I mean,
I see it as reality shows.
I know it's quote unquote scripted reality for the most part, but I only ever turned the television on for entertainment value of something that made me dare to dream, something that made me look forward to something that I didn't do every day. And that was what I loved about movies and entertainment, the stories behind things that were completely different to my own lifestyle. And it really made you think outside of the box and want to be something else. And I just see like so much of this garbage on TV, and it just makes me shake my head and like, if anything, I don't even channel surf anymore, because after the fourth time you see it clicking, I just turn the TV off and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, absolutely, man.
what do you got there, Maddie?
What do you do when you can't fall asleep?
Well, I have a hard time turning my mind off every night anyway. And usually when that takes place, I've got to self-medicate. I have a medical cannabis card, so
Yeah.
I'm all over that. And
Indica?
I don't do aspirin. I don't do painkillers. I don't do Tylenol. I wrote a couple of papers on acetaminophen in college that if you ever have the opportunity to spurn acetaminophen, please do so at every opportunity. It's not good for you.
Yeah, the liver killer.
Yeah, and kidneys, and brain, and heart. It's just terrible. It's not good for human consumption. And there are holistic remedies out there that are much more beneficial, that not only address the problem that you have, but will they do support other areas of your well-being. So I'm all about holistic healing and health.
Yeah. And it's so funny because cannabis is the real hot topic nowadays, right? Everything, ever since it's legalized. I mean, up here legalized, and that you can get a card or get it medical. It's when I was young, I never saw much of an interest in cannabis. It just, if anything, if I ever smoked it or took it or whatever, I just got tired. I just wanted to go to sleep. It just, other than that, everybody else is getting giggly and having fun. And I'm just like, no, I'll just have a good old beer or scotch or something, and that'll be my vice. But as I've gotten older, I find so many properties of cannabis that are absolutely fantastic. Getting rid of joint pains, getting rid of headaches. I mean, I would much rather have a low dose of cannabis or CBD that will get rid of my headache than taking a Tylenol or aspirin nowadays. In fact, I would actually, the last thing I want, because I just find that it kind of rots your stomach. It does, like, there's so many different things that it's against you. And I guess as you get older, you actually start feeling those things actually happening. So yeah, cannabis is kind of the way to go and be a little more natural about things. So
Well, like with my last bike accident, I was pretty tore up, man. It tore me up pretty good. I had a Chevy pickup truck broadside at 35 mile an hour on my bike, and I wasn't wearing a helmet.
wow.
And I'm, I guess, blessed, fortunate that I've got such a heavy frame, and I'm glad for my makeup, because it saved me. I bounced off that damn truck and did a helicopter, and got knocked out on the street. But when I got to the hospital and they started stitching me up, I have this, I don't know, medical condition. I don't know if it's because I don't medicate or whatever, but the numbing stuff they used to sew me up, I told him, I was like, listen, that stuff won't last but 2 minutes. That entire bottle, you have to use that entire bottle, it won't last. So just don't even use it. It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
And after the first bottle, I mean, he went through that bottle real fast. And he said, well, can you feel that? I said, well, yeah, I could feel the second stitch. So just keep going,
Yeah.
So I don't mess with that. And then he tried to offer me pain pills. And I said, no, you got to keep that too. I don't need any pain pills.
Yeah.
So I went home and made love to my wife at the time and smoked my weed and went to bed.
Nice.
Great way to end off the evening. I don't know. Do you think that there's a possibility that there's something to do with the military conditioning that has possibly caused that? Because my father, who's also a veteran, has the exact same issue. It doesn't matter what the hospital can put into them; it does not affect him. He is fully lucid through the whole procedure.
Man, we were given cocktails when we were in, man, and different groups and different people. I know some tier 1 operators that they were given stuff, keep them up for days, keep them focused. And, you get samplings of that here and there. So I don't know what I'll shut up with, but you're right. I mean, I attribute my memory loss to those times as well too. I've got holes in my memory. I can't remember most everything in detail. I get general spots here. And every once in a while, I have an epiphany, like it's a new thought. But I know, well, wait a minute, no, that's a memory.
Yeah.
So it's. I don't know how much that's attributed to any trauma in my life. How much is attributed to chemical cocktails I was given in the Army. I don't know, but I do know that there was a shift in my memory and pain tolerance. I mean, I've always had a high pain tolerance, but I've also had a aversion to pharmaceuticals too. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a spiritual thing, a divine thing, a genetic makeup thing. I don't know.
Do you know that apparently the number one reason soldiers, when they get out, that they get PTSD or that it actually affects them is because they stop regiment. And if you were to wake up your life every day like you were in the military, apparently that does not kick in. And it's the moment you actually relax that it affects you, and all these things.
Well, it's because you're right. You're absolutely right. You got that structure, that regimentation there that keeps you distracted. You're always focused on mission forward.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't have time to actually process your thoughts on what you're feeling.
Or what you've done.
You're so focused on the next stage in your evolution as a soldier.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent, Maddie. Next question.
Yeah, I got 2 more for you. What is the best thing you've ever eaten? At a restaurant.
Man, that's a great question. And this wouldn't be so challenging if my memory was not so bad.
Well, even if I said, "Hey, you're on death row, you get one last meal," what would you go to?
Oh my God, I'm a foodie, man. I love food. I love to cook. I was the oldest of my siblings, and my parents were a bunch of youth, so I basically raised us, and they cooked for us all the time. And I would make meals out of nothing, And so as I got older, and anytime I made money, I would treat myself. I would go to the finer places to eat, and I would try out these things. And I can't even remember the names of some of the stuff that I had, but and I know that I love that. But a staple meal, one of my meals, I cook for my girl. She loves this. My fiance, I do a really good steak. I'll make a really good, like 1.5 inch, 1.75 inch steak.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a New York strip or a porterhouse or a ribeye. All 3 of those cuts I like. And then I've got the stuffed mushrooms that I make, and I'll bake these stuffed mushrooms. And, maybe some asparagus, and some potatoes done a la Will, and
Awesome.
a bottle of Jameson, a bottle of wine, and maybe my favorite pie is cherry pie, so maybe a cherry pie for dessert.
Very cool.
I haven't had cherry pie in a coon's age.
I'm talking that piled cherry pie.
Oh yeah.
Not as level as the top of the edge of the pan, but it's piled. Cherry pie.
It's what I call the cartoon.
Yes.
Like you see this massive mounded pie, and you're thinking, how come they don't make that in those cheap packs? Like I want the cartoon.
And you're like, that's not real. Then your grandma's like, it's real. Here you go. So,
Yeah.
all right, right on. And the last question I have for you today: what is your favorite podcast that you've been on in the last 12 hours?
Oh, it's got to be StreamYard. You guys right here. You guys right here on StreamYard. I can't see the name of your podcast again. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all right, man.
But you guys,
Cut that out.
Anthony,
It's a freaking
when you called me this morning, I was excited because I could feel the energy in your voice, you know, and I could feel the passion for what you do, and it was fun. It's quick energy to pick up on and exchange with. So, yeah, you guys are really, and I love the fact that you're quick-witted and you're funny and you're sharp, and you haven't had a slow moment here yet.
Excellent. Well, we're glad that you had a good time. There was, when we were talking about the cherry pie, there was a question that popped in my head, and unfortunately, it has popped out. And I really feel it's unfortunate that I can't remember it because I thought it would be quite funny to get an answer from you from it, but unfortunately, it eludes me. So I might have to follow you up and ask that again another time. But do you have anything that you want to pitch? Any social media where people can find you?
I would love to. I do have an IMDb page. It's Wil with one L. Wilson. There's a lot of Wil Wilsons out there at IMDb, but there's only one Wil with one L Wilson. And I've got to update it yet. There's still some things that I need to add to it. Obviously, update my bio. I do have a Facebook. It's Wil with one L Wilson as well. I have an Instagram, W Wilson 692, and I used to have a Twitter, but I got upset one day and ended up getting suspended. So that's all well and good. I don't need to be there anyway.
Yeah.
I have a problem with Jack saying it's okay for pedophiles to post things about children, but they take down speech about politics.
Yeah.
I have a problem with them posting pedophile stuff and not striking it. I have a real problem with that.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to clue people into is this group called Operation Underground Railroad, and I'm in the middle of working out my volunteership for them as well. But what they do is they go in behind enemy lines with only private sponsorship, without any bureaucratic red tape. They work outside. They work the gray areas and whatever areas they can to be effective in breaking up human trafficking rings and bringing children and women and men home to their families.
Amazing.
So I would encourage people to look up Operation Underground Railroad, look at its birthings, look at its beginnings, look at where it is now, and look at what it's accomplished to this date, and look to see more from them here in the next few years. Human trafficking is a blight on our species.
Mm-hmm.
We are all deserving of human dignity, and it gets stripped from people in these scenarios. And families, their children born into captivity that never knew freedom as a result of this type of stuff. Yeah. So it's insidious, and it's a scar upon every human soul that comes across it and doesn't offer to do something about it.
Yeah. It's so disgraceful. So it's amazing that you're part of that, and that you brought that up on the show. So for our listeners on the road who haven't had a chance to view this live, we'll make sure that, of course, we put a profile picture up Wil, as well as links to his Instagram. And you know what? We're going to look up the link for that as Underground Railroad.
Operation Underground Railroad. Yes.
Operation Underground Railroad, and we'll make sure we post that up there as well for people to click on and check it out.
And please check out Out of Exile. It will have an opening this summer, this fall. We're doing a soft opening just for the cast and crew in March, and we're going to look at it. We're going to come out screaming, hollering, yelling, and having a good time. And Second Chances. Second Chances is another great one. And look for the Invictus video on YouTube sometime soon.
Yeah. Very good.
Just look me up on Facebook. Look me up on my social media, and I'll try and make sure that I keep you guys posted up on my current events. And I'll check in with you every once in a while, see how you're doing.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, you know what? Like I said again, it would be nice to circle back around and have you back on the show at some point. Talk about what else you're working on and how things are going.
Okay, gentlemen, I look forward to it.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Wil. You have yourself a wonderful evening.
Thanks,
Tony,
Wil.
Manny, you guys rock, man. Thanks.
Thanks, brother. Take care.
Let's take it easy.
Cheers.
Bye.